Beautiful Anonymous changes each week. It defies genres and expectations. For example, our most recent episode, I talked to a woman who survived a murder attempt by her own son. But just the week before that, we just talked the whole time about Star Trek. We've had other recent episodes about sexting in languages that are not your first language, or what it's like to get weight loss surgery. It's unpredictable, it's real, it's honest, it's raw. Get Beautiful Anonymous wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 724 for Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2025. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me today is...
Is this podcast banned in Australia yet? Who knows? Nick Fights.
I'm back, Brooksy 79.
And since I switched, I never seem to leave.
Well, it's nice to have me and you are the consistents, Darren. That is the word of the day. Consistency. We are hardcore.
I'm half of that word.
You know, Nick abandons us every other week to go to London to get some sex.
I like you. I don't like you that much.
Well, you know, what's more important in life, podcasting or a shag? I mean, come on. I think we all know the answer to that, but, you know.
Well, you're married now, so can you even remember what it's like?
No, I think not since before I had my second child.
And then you fell for the old, well, if you have a vasectomy, then we don't have to worry about more babies. You were like, and you fell for that hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. What's these hype chests? I earned a hype chest, and I've put it in the chat.
It's like a hype chest, hype train thing. The more people sub to you more than once, it goes up and up and up.
Right, cool. Sounds awesome to me, mate.
And you pick an emote to unlock, and it unlocks them for the people who are there at that time.
I've got one called Chill Girl.
Of course you have.
Yeah, man, so cool. Chill Girl. Yeah, baby. Right, anyway, we are live streaming on Twitch, so if you're listening to the podcast on one of the two feeds, be it either the free feed or the Patreon feed, why aren't you listening on the Patreon? Head on over to patreon.com/360gamercast. You can subscribe, £5 a month. That's nothing these days. You spend more on a pint of beer and you get all this awesome content. So why not do that? Or the other way is to listen live, twitch.tv/Webby360G. You can listen live every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. and join in the bants live. You can see my ugly face, definitely a face for radio, and join in, ask questions, chat shit, and generally have a good time with us lads who are here. So let's get into it. I've had quite a good week of gaming, actually, guys. It's been quite good. I've been playing. You guys are not at you. I don't actually think you're going to guess what my most played game is this week, and I want you guys to have 2 guesses, and then I will reveal. Maybe in the Twitch, if you want to join in and have some guesses, feel free.
Avowed.
No. Anyone else want to have a guess? Nick, any guesses? My most played game of the week?
Tumbleweed.
They're not listening to me, are they?
Racking their brains, yeah.
Something involved toiletry.
No. Not Arma, not Dragon Age Veilguard Jelly or Arma Daddy Ikin. Or Side Trance Visual said Arma as well. Okay, I'm going to reveal all.
Ride to Hell Retribution.
No, most played game of the week. You will never have guessed it, so I'm just going to talk about it now. Mario Party Jamboree has been my most played game this week. Peggle.
Next.
Sorry, not. I tell you what, right? The only reason it's my most played game is because my kids are absolutely loving it. So basically all the spare time for playing is my boy and my girl were like, Daddy, put on some Mario Party Jamboree. So I got it for them for Christmas. Obviously, they were in Australia. We were in Australia at the time. So we didn't get a chance to play it while we were there. And then they came back, and I think they just kind of forgot about it until like this past week or so. And we've been hammering it literally every day this past week. We've been playing it. And it's actually quite cool because even my daughter, who's 4, it's quite simple. Apart from the mini games, can be quite challenging at times. But a lot of it is aimed at adults and kids, I'd say, because it is simple enough. I'd say, but as a family game, it's fantastic because my wife and I and my 2 kids, we've been playing it 4-player constantly. And the variation of the boards is pretty cool. And the mini games, the variation of the mini games on the boards is pretty cool. And it does end up getting into some arguments as well when you get to a point on the board where there's a boo ghost and you can steal someone else's star. It's pretty funny, and it does cause some arguments at times. The only one thing I don't like about it, and this is just a nitpick really, is there's kind of an in-game battle pass. So it's completely free. It's just part of the game. But as you play the game, you earn this kind of Mario XP, and it goes along this kind of Fortnite type battle pass, and it unlocks. So basically, when you're on the board, the other players can like do little emotes with these little stickers under their names, and you unlock more of those and various other things for your characters. But also, 3 of the playable boards in the game are locked behind this in-game battle pass. And we've been pumping in quite a lot of hours of this, and we've only unlocked 1 of the extra boards, which I think's a bit naughty, really. I don't know why I didn't just whack all the boards in.
It's just basically like a progression system, isn't it, that they've done like it. I mean, I'm guessing this is just like it from the game. It's not like a timed thing and it's going to run out.
No, it's nothing like that. It's just part of the game, but it is just annoying because obviously it's a game you buy to play with people, like in my case, couch, versus kind of a board game thing, but all the boards should just be available to play straight off the bat, and you just shouldn't have to pump in 20, 30 plus hours just to unlock the extra boards. But that's my only kind of nitpick on the game. The rest of it is, obviously it's a very family-friendly game. And to be honest, I hadn't actually used the Switch for quite a long time. It's not really a device that really gets used much in the household at all because we've got obviously the Xbox, PlayStation, and the PCs. My boy kind of usually prefers playing on the other systems, but Mario Party is just one of those games. Obviously, it's exclusive to Nintendo, and it just gets, Nintendo are very good at doing high quality family couch type games, and this just another game that proves that. And obviously I've always loved the Mario Parties anyway since the N64, and it's quite chill and it's just a great game. So yeah, it's been my most played game this week because I say every evening I finish work and they're straight away, we'll play some Mario Party. Play some Mario Party, Dad. I'm like, yeah, all right then. And it's pretty good, man. I'm really liking it. Yeah, it's a cool game. I just wish it had more boards because obviously the Mario Party's been going for 20 plus years now, and I would have thought, they're always quite stingy with that. Like every game's only got about 5 or 6 boards, and I would have thought they've got quite a lot on the back burner now that they could just like kind of rehash. But it is what it is. It's still a lot of fun. So yeah, I didn't have a Nintendo game down for me to talk about on this week's podcast as my most played when we recorded last week, but here we are. Such is the joys of children. So yeah, Mario Party Jamboree, it's awesome. Check it out. Especially got kids. Fantastic. So yeah, that's one of my games played. So we'll head on to Nick.
Yeah, I'll just try to bring up my thing. There we go. Yeah, so I finally started Yakuza 3 on the PS4 version. and it's part of the remastered collection. But I did look. I don't think it's been remastered at all.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, compared to the 360, the 360, the PS3.
It's not a Kiwami one, is it?
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a Kiwami. First of all, I just thought, oh, this is a bit weird. Everything's a little bit floaty. And I thought, But it's just a weird thing your brain does to you when you play some of these games, especially in a long series. Your brain makes you think that the older games actually played like the newer ones, and then you go back to them. And it's just like, oh, dear. But... yeah, I only played it for about 2 or 3 hours, and trying to pay attention, because obviously it's all in Japanese still, which, you know, I think I'll eventually get through to the new ones, and by the time we get to the new ones, the newer games will probably go back to being Japanese again, I expect, but yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. So you start off as Kiryu again. I think it's about a year later after the game, and he's sort of at the orphanage with the young girl. I forgot her name already. That's how good it is. And I was just trying to run around. I don't know if it's something I noticed that there wasn't nowhere. It's hard to work out where you're supposed to go sometimes compared to the Kiwami games. You just follow like the pink dot on the screen, and that doesn't seem to be in this one. So it tells you where to go. It's like, oh, go here. So all right, so just a little bit easier thing. And I noticed it was like I was looking for this little kid for about 40 minutes, like everywhere outside, like in the city. I thought, where is he? And I looked online. Oh, he's in the bedroom right next to you. Oh, great. So I just fucking off. But yeah, and then I liked it. You went to the beach, and it was like, welcome to Morning Glory Beach. I thought, oh, that's a bit naughty. But that's quite fun. Yeah, but I'm only a few hours into that yet. So, but I'll probably just playing that in like off stream, just my like relax, chill out game.
So you're planning for going through the whole franchise, then I take it.
Trying to. I've done 0, Kiwami 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's a big undertaking, mate. So
I know. I've been trying it for like 2 years. So thing is, though, if I said I'll just play through the Yakuza games, it'd probably take me close to a year to play for them all to catch up to now, and especially once you get onto the Like a Dragon ones, because they're more RPG. Some of them, like the Like a Dragon games, they could be 60, 100-hour JRPGs, aren't they?
Well, they can be. It depends if you want to do the side stuff or not.
But the side stuff is sometimes more fun than the actual
it's awesome,
main
mate.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you just sort of spend hours playing, like taking pictures of half-naked Japanese girls, because why would you not want to do that?
I mean, it's weird because the Yakuza series is, I'd say it's very niche. You got to be a certain type of person to enjoy these games, but for me, it's easily one of my favourite gaming franchises, just because of as I've mentioned 100 times before, has a great mafia type main serious story, but the side stuff is just crazy and wacky. And Wes has just put in the Twitch chat as well, that don't forget to check out the Judgment games as well, because they're kind of spin-offs.
What? I've got more games to play.
Yeah, and they are really good. You play as a detective in them in the same.
I've played the first Judgment, and I've got Lost Judgment to play.
That's
so
right,
technically, I've done 4 of, like, I don't know how many there are, 15 now.
Yeah. So yeah,
I like them because they're good, honest games, and once you buy them, you've just got the whole game. It doesn't.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, I haven't ever seen any DLC stuff like microtransactions. I don't know if that's got that in later games.
They don't. No.
I mean, in the Like a Dragon stuff, there's like costume DLC and stuff, isn't there, and weapon DLC. But it's stuff you don't need. Yeah,
because I was just going to say, like, on Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, I did pay for the deluxe upgrade for the extra characters as part of my pirate crew, but they don't actually make the game any better at all. I just wanted them. So yeah, it's all just kind of that sort of stuff, really. In the later
but that's different if you spend money on stuff like that in a game because you want to, and you think they deserve it in a way. Whereas some other games, they like force you to buy stuff. Like so, I've had some games, especially the Ubisoft games lately. Like you start the game, That's like press A to press A, press A, and then you get to the title screen. Press A to buy this. I'm like, what? What have I bought? And they're asking you for microtransactions before you've even started the bloody game. It's just
and we'll get into Ubisoft a bit later. I think they're in trouble, but we will talk about that later on in the show. But no, I'm really glad that you're enjoying the Yakuza franchise anyway, Nick, because I've been trying to tell people about how good it is for many years now. Obviously, it's very niche, but I think once you do get into it, there's no getting off that train because they're just so damn good.
Well, I had the first two on PS2, and but like I said, with PS3, I think they didn't come out the same. I think they got delayed for ages, and they weren't going to release them, and then they did. So it's not like now where it releases pretty much worldwide, like majority of games. I think there was like a year or two wait between them coming out in Japan and coming out like over here.
Yeah.
Well, Yakuza Ishin, like that, didn't even come out in the West.
Yeah, I know one game.
They re-released it.
Yeah, but I think that was early PS3 when PS3 wasn't doing so well, like financially. So I don't think it was selling well. So they thought it's not worth. I mean, if they don't think it's worth to give it an English dub, then they're not going to spend money going to a market where they don't think it's going to sell well. Yeah. Well, they should have. I'm glad they did. They're very good games.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Brooksy, you haven't been on the show for quite a long time, so
yeah, it's been a while.
So what have you been doing? Why haven't you been joining us? And what games have you been playing?
Well, I haven't really been playing a lot, but I'll explain more in detail later on. But just as a quick side note, the games I have been playing is Black Ops 6 on it pretty much every day.
Wow.
Even if it is just a quick couple of games in the morning or after work when I come home. I did actually buy the Terminator skin, but being a fan, that's pretty much a day one purchase for me anyway. That's actually quite funny on some of the liners that he comes out with. Still pretty good. I still mostly play Team Deathmatch and HVT on like Prestige 6 now, so I'm slowly getting there, but not hugely compared to other people out there, but I'm still enjoying on what it is. Second one was Silent Hill 2.
Yes.
This is the first time I've actually been playing this properly. I never really played it when it first came out originally on, was it the PS2? I can't quite remember.
Yeah, PS2, yeah.
The remake, the remake.
Yeah, the remake. I remember owning it, but I think I might have had it on a pirate copy back then, but never really played it.
Naughty.
Yeah, well, but no, it's good. Go and buy some. I've had to actually follow some of the guides just to see where I was going, because for me, being a first time player of this game, for me the frustrating part was trying to figure out where you've got to go, what you've got to do, and I then realised that on your map you got to say to yourself, well, I haven't been there, right? Go there. What's there? Oh, the door's locked. Right, go back. And once you start exploring the map a bit more, you kind of understand what you've got to do, where you've got to go. A couple of puzzles I had to look up on YouTube, but most of them were pretty much got it in the end. Going by the guides, I'd probably say I'm about 5 or 6 hours near completion. I'm just trying to do a quick playthrough. Well, was trying to do a quick playthrough. But for what I've played, it's pretty good. I might have to buy it again, but I'll explain more later on. Other than that, it's been mostly Call of Duty.
Mate, don't talk about all your games. We talk about one game each, right? But
yeah. Now, those I'd say those were the main two, but later on I'll explain the main part.
The good thing about Silent Hill is it's one of those games where on your first run you kind of want to look everywhere, you want to explore everywhere.
Yeah, I appreciate that, definitely.
Yeah, when you go back to it, you'll figure out you can bust through that game in a few hours. Like when you know exactly where you're going and what to do, you can like skip loads of stuff. It's really interesting the way it's sort of designed like that.
And those nurses, I don't care. They freak me out on the headphones. That's just, they're scary as fuck.
Are you telling me you don't find them quite sexy? No, no. Just talking about COD though. What's quite strange to me is I've really been into COD for quite a few years now, but I'm going to openly admit that 2 weeks ago I actually deleted it off my hard drive on my PC.
Is it a beast? Is it size-wise?
It is huge. That's what she said. But it's more the fact that, just a personal thing, since I've found Arma, it's just kind of taken over my FPS life. So I have no room. Like, I literally have no room for any other shooter at the minute. And I know they're completely different. But it's just all my spare shooter time. I'd still, even though I've had the game for like 3 months now, Arma is all I want to fucking play. I'll talk about that in a bit.
You have played loads of COD for... How many CODs have we played multiplayers for years? I'm saying it's still a good game, but it gives you the same thing. Whereas with Arma, you've got a different type of feeling, a different type of game. You think, well, I want that because I've had this COD for...
Well, it's not just that. I think
months,
I feel...
years.
I don't know if you agree with me or not, but I just feel Call of Duty's just gone too far to the Fortnite side of things in regards to multiple skins, and a lot of the skins are really silly, and the gameplay and the cheating and stuff like that. I just kind of got to a point where I'm just like, it's just a personal thing, and I'm not knocking COD at all. It's popular for a reason. It's fun.
PC players, mate.
It will be them PC players. 100%. I agree with that, mate. But I kind of like, and what made me realise that, I think I talked about this before, was I went back and re-downloaded COD 4 Remaster on the Xbox, and then how slow that was compared to the modern COD, and how kind of more hard, like realistic it was with the characters and stuff like that. Thank you, Clarky, for subscribing on the Twitch. You know, and I'm not knocking COD. It has its audience, has its place, and I still think it's a fun game, but it's just, I don't know, I just feel like it's getting less and less for me because of all of that Fortnite-y type stuff that's in it now.
I think they force you to play that and only that for the entire year to get the most out of it.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. It's only if you buy the battle pass, and that's why I've stopped buying battle passes as well, because that's when you do feel forced. But if you just play it for the fun, you're not forced, are you? You know, and it is, and it is good for that drop in, drop out kind of, you know, do a match or two, and you go and do something else. But I don't know, on a personal thing, I'm just finding it's kind of a less and less for me type thing. But you know, I'm glad that you're enjoying it still, and there is still like quite a lot of people in the communities who play it and stuff. So, yeah.
I think I have actually got to that point, kind of like what you're saying. I kind of feel like I can't play it all day, every day. That's why I'd rather just, you know, have a couple of games in the morning, go about your day, go to work, or other days, do whatever, come home from work, quick couple of games, you know, a few games here and there. That's not too bad. You're kind of doing your dailies, I suppose. But I'm enjoying it. I do kind of wonder, will they release the next game on Game Pass?
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Deal going about.
Oh yeah, definitely. Where were we? Okay, so let's hit on to Darren then. And then, because I'm keen to hear about your other stuff, but I want to kind of try and keep it flowing with everyone's one game at a time, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Darren, talk to me.
All right, well, I'll start off talking about a demo I played.
A demo?
Yes, it's for a game that I've had my eye on for a while, and I think it was announced a good year or so back. Called Karma: The Dark World.
Oh, okay.
Very, very weird first-person, surreal, sort of headfuck kind of game, if that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
I'm not too sure who the developers are or anything like that, but I just remember thinking that looks really different and weird and very, very strange. So it's like a first-person game, but it's not sort of action-based.
Right.
It seems very much inspired by like David Lynch, like the book 1984.
Oh wow.
Kind of thing. So it's set in like the 80s in Germany, and you're kind of working for something I think that's known as Mother. And it is basically like you go to work, you do what you're told, you know what I mean? You don't like work some more to cheer yourself up, kind of thing. If you're feeling sleepy and tired, drink this blue bottle juice. That'll sort you out. It kind of in the sense of like, you know, the happy pills in We Happy Few.
Yeah.
So it sort of goes into that, but it's very weird. There's like sort of like Cronenberg-y body horror and stuff in it. Where you've got like all these sort of like things in like embedded into your arm kind of thing, and your face is all fucked up, but it's like you're working for a bureau that jumps into people's brains.
Sounds weird.
It's very, very weird. It has a very like melancholy, sort of like sad but cool soundtrack to it. I really enjoyed the time I played with it. It's only like about 50 or so minutes long, the demo. I'd say I think it's on everything as well. The cool thing was with the PlayStation version is like you get those little things where it's like 10 stories from your games kind of thing, and I noticed that the stories in my games, because I downloaded that demo, there was like a mini album of like 4 or 5 songs you can just click on and listen to.
Oh, that's cool.
Although they're sort of like slightly depressing. But it's just really weird, like the whole visual aesthetic to it. Like there's a lot of NPCs that have got like televisions for heads.
Weird.
And then like the sort of like the environment warps as you're walking around it and changes depending on like the angles you're looking.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a game I've actually had the demo on my Steam. I've downloaded it a month or so ago because Turner from the Discord was raving about it, but I never got around to checking it out. But you've got me more intrigued now, Darren, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's not an action thing. There's a couple of sort of sequences where you're being chased.
Oh, okay.
Sort of like the old sort of chase sequences, but it's seems to be going into like the psychological, like the torment of someone's mind and sort of things like that. So there's obviously a lot more to it. The game's actually out this coming week.
Really? Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it was one of them ones where I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good. Like, when's that due out? Don't know. Then the demo was out, and then it was just like, oh, by the way, it's out on like the middle of next week.
Is there a price on this? Because I'm just looking on Steam.
I don't think so.
And there's no
I don't
price
think
on
it's
here.
going to be I don't think it's going to be a big one. I think it's going to be one of those £30 jobs.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I don't know how long the game actually is. Because like, obviously, if it's quite big, just looking on PS Plus now, it doesn't actually have. It just says wish list. It's out on the 27th, so literally out Friday.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like it's on Steam, obviously, but it just says out on the 27th of March. There's no price. Nothing.
Yeah, just the trailers and everything like that. I'd say it's got a little bit of Atomic Heart thrown in there, I suppose, as well. In the looks of it.
Good.
And there's like weird things where you kind of, I imagine you're getting like studied yourself, because there's like a couple of collectibles I actually found in the demo, and they're basically just boxes, and then you push which button you want, although the buttons you push don't really seem to make any sense to anything, like the pattern of the box or the shape of the box.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's kind of like a weird thing where you'll be given a stat at some point saying, oh, this is why you chose this button or whatever it was at the time. But definitely an interesting looking game. Look at the trailers for it. That's enough to sort of like make you think, what the hell?
Yeah. Sweet.
Definitely
Cool, man.
Kojima, I think, would approve.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm watching the video
So there's
now.
that.
It does look pretty. It looks pretty awesome, man. Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Is that a VR game?
No, it would have been awesome.
It looks like kind of VR, doesn't it?
But yeah, you work for the Thought Agency.
Oh, yeah, very 1984 then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it looks. Graphics look very nice. Yeah. Cool. I'll check this out, man. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to move on to me again. I'm going to talk about Arma because I've already mentioned it so I'm not going to talk about it for too long. I'm loving it, mate. I'm really loving it still. Been playing it with Wes. Very nice to get Wes on with me this week. First time I've been on with him. And Canned Beans from the Discord. So big shout out to Canned Beans as well. We've had some epic sessions on it this past week. I've pumped a good few hours into it in a few evenings, and it's still my go-to game. There is a new update coming soon. It's already on the test, on the experimental version of the game with mortars and some updates to ranking for what you can build, etc., etc. I'm not going to bore people with all that information. But it's still a great game. I like to see that for the most part, it's still a really good experience. However, I did have a little bit of a letdown. What was it last? No, was it a couple of night or two nights ago? I was on one of the playtest servers, which are the 128 player ones, and usually you get these sort of shenanigans on the US team. So basically, we won the game and it ticked down and we started a new game and everyone's in the main base. And usually people just spawn vehicles and have a chat and be like, right, let's go here, there, or wherever. But a bunch of people, about 4 or 5 guys in the main base decided they thought it would be funny just to run around just shooting everyone spawning in our base and killing them.
You always get some.
Which is just like, yeah, but it's kind of it's a serious military shooter, really. I mean, yeah, I don't mind people having a mess around with that, but you're like, fucking hell, you want to get out and capture the bases, otherwise you're going to... Because that beginning of the game is quite important for capturing bases to get along with the game. Because, you know, the games can last like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours plus, you know. So you want to get a good start, you know. So I get in the chat and I'm like, guys, can you please stop shooting each other? And then they started giving me shit. So I fucking lost my temper and started calling them cunts and told them to go play fucking Call of Duty with their other teenage friends and stuff like that. But because there was quite a lot of them, they actually voted to kick me and I got kicked from the server. And what was really frustrating about that is I've never been kicked before and they really need to sort the kicking system out in this game. Is I got kicked from the server, but it meant that I couldn't join any other server for 5 minutes.
It's not too bad. I mean,
but it's still like
a dungeon in Final Fantasy, you're timed out for, I think it's like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, but what it proved to me was that the kicking system can be abused very easily in this game because all it takes is for 10 people to vote yes on the vote of kicking, and then you're out, and then you can't get into any other game for 5 minutes. And you know, and it pissed me off because they were the people being pricks, and I got kicked. You know, and then it stopped me from playing the game for 5 minutes. Yeah, I went and made a cup of tea, and I was chatting to Wes at the time and getting angry and stuff. But I was just like, man, they need to sort that out because I'd seen a few other posts on Reddit about the kicking system, but I never really gave it much thought because obviously it never happened to me. But luckily that was kind of a very rare occurrence because I've played the game for like 230 hours now. That's the only time that's ever happened. Very rarely do you get shit like that in the comms anyway. So, you know, my overall experience of Arma so far, again, has been very positive. I will say, though, quite a few niggles with the game at the minute, as well as the test servers, the 128-player servers, are very laggy. So you've got the 48-player official servers, which are very stable, very solid, but what you find on these 128-player test servers is you get a lot of lag, especially lag spikes, which can get very frustrating when you're driving, because you can be driving in a straight line. You'll get like a bit of desync with the server, and when it jumps, you're crashed into a tree and you're dead, which when you're carrying a crew full of...
Bit of lag spike, boys.
Yeah, and it has been, and it has fucking pissed me off a few times because, you know, I've had a squad in the car, because I'm usually the driver because I know the map quite well, and then I've all of a sudden just crashed into a random tree out of nowhere and we're all dead. That's really annoying. So they need to sort that out, and you can get decent with the server in some firefights as well in those bigger servers, which can be a little bit frustrating as well. But apart from that, that's kind of my only complaint with the game. The rest of it is very positive. Everyone works really well in the chat, voice chat. You know, and the map I'm still really enjoying, and the game mode, you know, the main game mode as well. So still a great game. Be really nice if more people in the community picked it up. I know it is a little bit of a, what's the word?
Niche.
A commitment, I would say. Not yet a niche as well, maybe, because it is quite simmy, but it's one of them games where if I'm playing, I usually I'm in for at least a couple of hours, because the games can last a long time. And a lot of the time I'll leave the server before the game's over anyway, because it's just too long sometimes, but you feel like you've done your part for the war. So, but you're playing for the fun, and that's what I like about it. As I've said 100 times before already, you know, there's no carryover of progression, there's no unlocks, guns and stuff like that. It's just per game, which I like, as I've said before, because you're just playing for the fun. And it just brings me back to the old school 360 days of gaming, where games were all about the fun, and I think that's been kind of lost in modern gaming, to be honest. So, yeah, it gives me that kind of old school feeling in that regard as well. So, but yeah, I'm still playing it loads, and I'm really loving it, and I'm going to stop talking about it now, because I talk about it every day, well, every single week. So we'll get back to Nick. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been carrying on, not that much, with Alan Wake 2.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so I played it for about 2-3 hours today, and I've just started playing as another character. I don't want to say who it is, so I think that's kind of spoilery, because I didn't know it was happening, so, you know, I don't want to... You probably know it is, though, don't you, Webby, because you played this...
Well, me and Darren have both... have both finished it, so...
Yeah, so you play as multiple characters if you get do the DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that, because, well, I've got... Yeah, but I didn't even know that character was in it, so... Well, I've been deliberately... Yeah. Well, I just said that character. No one knows who.
Well, I know who you mean, but yeah,
I know you know what I mean. Yeah. But well, yeah. But I've been enjoying it so far. It's just weird. I've noticed a few of these newer games just lately. They've made them like harder to play, not difficulty. Just like they've removed like all the waypoints that they used to have in games. I know Brooks was saying like with Silent Hill earlier, where they just have a map. They've got a similar in Alan Wake. You've just got a map instead, and it's just a little bit. If it's like sometimes I thought I don't know where I'm supposed to go, and I look on it, it just says, "Oh, you've got to do this." And the bit I was doing, I feel like I'm just walking around in circles, not knowing where I'm supposed to go. And I know like a few people were moaning, like over the years, like games are too easy, just let you work it out for yourself. And I sort of get that. But I thought they'd just have like accessibility options, you know, where you could, if you don't want the waypoints, just have a setting where, okay, don't have it.
I'm sure there might actually be something like that in Alan Wake, because I know there was a hell of a lot of different things. Like there's tons of like accessibility options in that game.
Yeah, I saw some. They were like does the QTEs for you. I couldn't see anything about waypoints unless they've changed the name of it or something. But yeah, I know some people are really complaining. Like, you know, that trend in games where it told you where to go. Like in especially games where it like paint everything yellow. oh, this is a ladder. It's got yellow paint on it. So, but there are some bits like where you can actually see a yellow arrow, but like your torch reflects it. Because I was playing a bit where I was playing as Alan Wake, and I just got lost on top of these roofs. But it kept doing the thing where you keep going through the same door, and like then you absorb lights, and it sort of changes the area slightly, but it's the same area. But like, because that's like in his brain, like in his head type thing, and it just keeps going round and round in circles the same area. And I just got completely lost. I thought, I don't know if I'm going back. That's actually the bit you've got here up on the screen, Webby. That took me 10 minutes. It said follow the sign to thing. I thought, I can't find this sign. And I just kept walking around. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, you gotta wait for you gotta look for the signs that light up as you're walking around, mate. Yeah, I remember that bit.
Yeah. And I think because I had like 2-3 weeks off since the last time I played it, I was like forgetting the controls and stuff like that. But
have you done the music level yet?
That's the one I just done today.
That was one of my favourite levels in the game. It was so good. It really was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. I think they were trying to sort of do their, the bit in the original Alan Wake where the music-y bit there. I think they were trying to do that, but it was fun. I reckon the guys must have like pissed themselves laughing, filming all that stuff.
It was fantastic. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, and that's just like one of these things which I think I like it, but I'm not sure what you guys think. Where you actually see, like real life videos of people in video games.
I don't mind it.
It kind of works for that game because they have gone for the whole sort of like realistic look to the characters and everything. So there isn't too much to separate between the actual in-game character models and the live-action-y stuff, where it's like absolutely jarring, like it used to be back in the days with, like, say, Star Commander or whatever that was.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it so far. I've just done that bit. I think I've played for about 10, 11 hours, so I don't know if I'm maybe halfway through. I'm not sure.
Okay. No, I'd say just enjoy the ride, mate. It is a good game, and I know it had its shortcomings with people moaning about certain things, but I think overall it was a good game. Really do.
I don't know because I tried to stay away from it. I don't really know what they were moaning about.
Oh, I'm not going to go on about it again now. I think we should just rest on the fact that it's a fun game.
Yeah, I'll try and finish it before, probably not next week, but maybe the week after.
There's some really cool locations and stuff in it as well that you'll go and visit.
Definitely.
But fuck that old lady.
Right, thank you, Nick. Let's get back to Brooksy then. I want to hear about his other story that he was alluding to a short while ago and any other games he might have played.
Yeah, right. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been busy. Basically, a little while back, a few weeks back, I was listening to the show at work, and you lot were talking about the way Microsoft are going, the way Xbox are going, with the fact that could they start be pulling off a Sega?
Yeah.
And it made me think, and I perfectly agree on what was said, thinking about it. And it got me thinking. So at the same time, because you get other random thoughts that enter your head as well, at the same time, I was kind of thinking to myself, well, I'd always want to build a dedicated media server.
Yeah.
But then if you're going to do that, you might as well game on it, because for something like that, you need pretty good hardware to help stream your films locally. And listening to the podcast at the time, it got me thinking. I kept thinking about it. And I thought to myself, well, what would it take to actually build my own gaming PC? Because I've never really had gaming PCs. I've always been console. Can't really afford it to go out and buy one or build one. So I'm thinking, well, what would it take to raise the funds to get some sort of gaming machine? see, one thing you got to understand is in my household, I haven't really got the room for a PC. I haven't got the room for a desktop and a couple of monitors and whatnot. Pretty much until the kids fuck off, quite frankly, that ain't gonna happen. So I've always I'm thinking, well, maybe should I get a laptop? At least that way it's more portable. But I know, and I'm sure everyone else knows as well, laptops you can't really upgrade, and there's always one component that is, or there's one component that's not always good as they make out to be. There was a couple of laptops that said that you can't even upgrade the RAM on it. So going back to the PC side of things, I'm thinking about it. I was like, well, what can I do to get the funds to build my own system? So because I've always been console, I actually came up with a crazy idea, and I sold the PS5.
What?
Sold the 30th anniversary controller that I had.
Oh my
God.
God.
A couple of the games. Sold the camera. Sold me Series X and the games. Sold the Portal, even though every have lost it, but I won't go into that because I'm still fucked off about it. Sold an old graphics card, a 1660 Super. I am going to keep the Series S in the bedroom because I've still got a big Xbox game library and I don't really want to, lose that. In total, for everything that I sold, I made $950.
Not too bad, mate.
As I'm slowly selling off the parts, I'm kind of trying to figure out what I can get for this income. And I'm thinking to myself, well, budget-wise, I'm probably going to say about $800 to $1,000. Granted, some parts are going to have to be used. If I can, I'll try and get it brand new. But you've got to do what you got to do within budget. So, I basically made $950 out of the lot. I think my overall cost on the build was a few pence over $1,000. There are some components that I still have anyway, like drives and a Blu-ray drive for the discs, but loads of SSDs I've got. The only SSD additionally I bought was a 2 terabyte NVMe for games. But hardware-wise, I bought a Ryzen 7 5800X, 64 gigs of DDR4, an Asus Strix B550 motherboard, and the graphics cards kind of feel like a little bit went over budget a little bit. But again, looking around, I decided in the end to go for a 1080 Ti. Originally, I was thinking maybe should it be like an RTX 3050 or something a bit lower. But weirdly enough, some of the comparisons and the specs and reviews, people were saying the 1080 Ti still holds up, even though it's like a 7 or an 8 year old graphics card. It still performs all right. But because it's going to be mostly in the living room, and also it will act as a Plex server, I'm not going to have an actual monitor to it. It's going to be connected to my TV, and my TV will only do 4K 60 or 1080p 120. So I didn't really feel the point of having something that would then do 200 at 1440p. For me, it's either 1080p or 4K 60 or even 4K 30 if it looks good enough. And I've got it all built up. I'm still trying to play around with the customized fan settings. I'm not going to overclock it because that just scares me, because I've heard, good and bad reviews on overclocking them. It's a good system for what it is, to be fair. I'm still playing around with it, trying to find that sweet spot. I'm loving it. I don't know why, but playing especially Call of Duty on it, why is it that Call of Duty just feels quicker and smoother compared to console? It's a different experience playing it on PC. And that's weird.
But, you know, I mean, I've been talking about PC gaming for a long time. I am a little bit, and I don't want to get too into technical details while we're talking about games on the podcast, but I am quite surprised that you went for a 1080 Ti over like did you say a 4070? Or 30
notes. I mean, I was kind of looking at like a 3050, maybe even a 2060, but some of the comparisons they were saying that the 1080 was actually better than those two. So, and also budget wise. So, I guess for now to start off with, it's a good way to start off. You know, maybe in a few years' time, yes, you can upgrade, but for now, it's good enough. It does the job.
As long as you're happy, mate, that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's, you know, 1080p, 100, 120 FPS. Yeah, that's good enough. I was pretty much playing 1080p, 120 on the Xbox anyway, so it's about the same, really.
Nice. No, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm just quite surprised you got rid of all your consoles, mate. It's quite a big decision to make. Yeah, obviously but getting rid of your PlayStation and your Series X and building a PC and playing it on your telly in your main room. I mean, obviously it can be done. You know, there's not a problem with that, but it's just such a big jump to make, isn't it? You know,
it is. Yeah, I mean, my main platform is Xbox, which again is another reason why I'm keeping the Series S, because I've got a lot of digital games. But the PlayStation, I mean, yes, it's a good system in its own right. I'm not saying it's not, but I was only playing it like once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. For me, the main game that I did play on the PlayStation, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this, and I will pre-order this when it comes out on Steam, is Last of Us 2. Other than that, it was mostly Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
But because I've sold it, I've now had to replay it again. I suppose with PC, at least you can require games in some other form and, you know, so to speak, and try before you buy. But
100%.
Do your digital Xbox purchases carry across to PC, like with Xbox on the PC? Or
some do.
Some don't.
It depends
if it's got that Xbox console and Windows,
like the Play Anywhere thing, or whatever.
Yeah. Because a lot of games do. So, like, when I bought Yakuza, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth on Xbox. It also appeared on my Xbox app on my PC. So a lot of games do, which is good, and your saves crossover as well. The Xbox app, I know people give all other apps shit compared to Steam on PC, but I think the Xbox app's actually pretty good now. And there's a vast library of Game Pass games on there as well, which is fantastic. So I do actually highly recommend it if you have played Xbox before and you have a library, etc. And PC Game Pass is cheaper.
Just say I got over 300 digital games on Xbox.
Yeah.
And there's only 19 that work on the PC.
Yeah, wow. Oh, wow. Yes, it's definitely worth keeping a Xbox console around, I would say. So, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, my main machine now is going to be the PC.
Another convert. Jesus, more and more people converting over.
In a weird way as well, I kind of think to myself, why have I not done this earlier? That's the weird thing I'm thinking now.
I think a lot of it is money, upfront cost of a PC. It's a lot of money now, especially if you're going for high specs. But then obviously you need to factor in is room. So if you want to you need a space. You need if you're not plugging it into your telly, you know, you need space for a desk, a chair, you need a mouse, all these other things. They add quite a significant chunk to the cost of that PC experience. So, you know, that upfront cost is a lot of money. I'm not going to lie about that. But your cost savings going on are fantastic. You think you don't need to pay to play online. The games are a lot cheaper, or if you know where to go, they don't cost you anything. So you do make significant savings going along and doing like small upgrades and stuff like that. And it's not like the old days where your system is defunct after a year. Such is the slow progress of technology in gaming now that a PC build will last you way over 5 years now, easy. But I think the biggest barrier to entry, as I say, is money and space. And I bang on about PC gaming a lot. I love it, but even me, I still like that console experience because I work from home, so I'm in my PC chairs area all day. A lot of evenings I'm like, I don't want to sit up here anymore. I want to sit on the sofa, and put my feet up. So, but obviously not everyone's in that position. But I would say that the overall experience you get on PC is a lot better than console, but I would say there is a lot of barriers to entry for people as well. So it's all just on personal preference, I would say.
And if anyone's in the same boat when it comes to space, I did actually buy it because it's going to be in the living room on the main TV. You can actually buy, and I did myself, buy a Bluetooth keyboard that does actually have its own trackpad. So if anyone's out there that's sort of thinking, well, how are you going to use mouse and keyboard, blah, 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 I'm still using controller at the same time as well when I'm using playing games on it.
Well, so I use my controller.
The keyboards, so the keyboard is a good way to just log in, do what you got to do, pick up a controller, and then bang, you're in. I did actually try and play Call of Duty with mouse and keyboard. I can't get it.
You're too used to the controller. No,
what controller are you using on PC?
Just a black Xbox.
Nice.
Yeah, because the thing is, right, is consoles, I don't know if you'll agree with this, I think Darren might have the most opinions on this, as I feel console gaming is becoming has become more and more like a PC experience anyway, with mid-gen upgrades, slightly better powerful systems, having updates constantly, installing new games. It is, you get into a game and you've got these different graphic modes in your games. It's kind of more and more a PC experience anyway. And I've found that PCs have become a lot more like a console experience. You can literally just download a game off Steam or your preferable store and the game will just run. None of this faffing around like we used to back in the day.
Now install this too, put in the code on the back of the manual to authenticate.
Yeah, so, and Steam Deck has really proved that to me as well, because that is literally just like, it's its own OS, it's Steam OS, and it is 100% like a console experience, and that OS is actually coming out on more handheld systems, but there is rumours of them having it on an actual PC type system, which you can stick under your telly, which would be amazing. So I think that's going to be the future, to be fair, because obviously the price is right, in my opinion, now, especially for the games. So, but yeah, I'm glad you've got into it. But it's cool, mate. It's very, very cool.
Yep.
Fantastic. Darren, you played anything else, my dude?
Yes, I have. Today, I actually finished a game.
What? That's not like you, is it?
No. So, today I finished Saints and Sinners.
Saints and Sinners. Oh,
the one I banged on about for the past couple of weeks.
Yes, I remember now, yeah.
It's not a long game. Truth be told, you can probably bang through it in like 10 hours or under if you're just completely focused on doing the objectives. But it is basically like what I've said before. It's you go to your base, you cook all your stuff, you tool up, and then you head out to one of the locations to scavenge.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it
in the Walking Dead universe.
It's quite cool because you guys, you and Frosty and Nick, actually, you've been talking quite a lot about VR the last few weeks. So it kind of feels to me that there's kind of more of a resurgence in games coming out on the VR systems now, whereas it kind of was a deep lull before. Am I right in saying
yes
that?
and no. I think it's just. I mean, if we hadn't been talking about it again, you wouldn't really be hearing anyone talking about it because it's still very niche. It still has a lot of work. As much as I love the gameplay of Saints and Sinners, there is issues with it at times.
Right. Yeah.
Because we haven't got to the point where VR's perfect when it comes to the controls and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm now just at the point where I'm just going around mopping up the last few trophies.
Oh, you're doing a Peebs, being a trophy whore.
Well, again, it's a burst game. It's not like you're doing it. You just feel like sticking it in and you're having an experience and you can get stuff done. So basically, I'm just tracking down a blueprint that apparently some of the roving death squads have. So on certain maps, you can have death squads of either the tower or
Trading shouldn't have barriers. When Robinhood started, it was built to make trading more accessible. Now Robinhood offers more sophisticated trading tools. Experience the future of trading on Robinhood Legend, the all-new desktop platform that harnesses intuitive design to deliver a seamless experience for traders. Free to use with a Robinhood account, Robinhood Legend is designed for how you trade, with powerful charts including custom intervals down to the tick, and over 80 indicators and drawing tools. Trade all your favorite assets, including popular stocks and ETFs, all in one place. Take your trading to the next level by customizing your layout in seconds and even enter and exit positions in one tap right from the chart with up to 8 charts per layout. The future of trading is fast, powerful, and precise. Experience it now on Robinhood Legend. Sign up today. Investing is risky. Robinhood Financial LLC. Member SIPC is a registered broker-dealer. Other fees may apply.
I'm no tech genius, but I knew if I wanted my business to crush it, I needed a website now. Thankfully, Bluehost made it easy. I customized, optimized, and monetized everything exactly how I wanted with AI. In minutes, my site was up. I couldn't believe it. The search engine tools even helped me get more site visitors. Whatever your passion project is, you can set it up with Bluehost. With their 30-day money-back guarantee, what do you got to lose? Head to Bluehost.com. That's BLUEHOST.com to start now.
Reclaimed, I think it is, the other faction. So they're basically at each other. But they'll have an elite squad walking around, and if you take them out, you've got loads of resources off them, and they have a chance to drop in blueprints. Because I made a choice at the end of the game which blocked me off from being able to get certain blueprints.
Right. Okay.
But they added in the Aftershocks version, which is what it is now. When you carry on the game after the main storyline, you get given other little tasks, obviously from the DLC, of things to do, like big caches to find. And I mean big caches, filled with all of the metal tins with the multiple crafting items in. That if you see them out in the world, you're like, I'm having that. Because it's worth 3 or 4 times of other items you've got, and it only takes up one slot.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it does look cool, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it was mad dash that got a bit silly towards the end of the game, but once I was sort of past that, I was just like, oh, here we go. Back in.
Yeah. Sweet. I'm glad.
The mellowness.
Glad that PSVR 2 is getting some use. So Frosty's mentioned in the Twitch.
I felt proper done in because obviously I played it today for about 3.5 hours and my legs were killing me by the time I got off. I had to literally turn it off because my feet were hurting.
Oh wow!
I was because I just find it easier, and I know Frosty plays sitting down quite a bit, but with the games where you're sort of standing up, moving around in a 3D space, I find it less disorientating if I'm standing up. And I feel a bit more involved.
Fair enough. Yeah.
In sort of what's going on.
Yeah, so Frosty has actually said in the chat that there's not a lull, but he says some big game shave. What's he on about a game shave? I think
there was a game show last week at PSVR showcase, and I think this coming week, maybe on the 27th as well. People who have the PS5 version of Hitman World of Assassination.
Oh, nice.
Can pay £10 to basically get access to the whole original game. I don't think the DLC's included, but it doesn't do that with things like Resident Evil anyway.
Right.
But you can play all of them in VR.
Yeah, that's
so you can
cool.
visit all of those different locations and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he meant to say games have landed. I read game shave because he put his space in the wrong place. But yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, because I know you two have talked about a good few games, haven't you? So.
Yeah, like I say, it's one of those things. When it gets even better, it's going to be really cool.
Mm.
And I've been watching videos because obviously I've been searching on YouTube for like VR stuff coming out and whatnot. And I noticed like videos were coming up from just a year ago. Frosty probably knows exactly this, but there's like a headset that you can get for the PC or one of the things, and it's literally just like a pair of glasses you stick on. Like, it's such a small headset, and it's supposed to have the best wide vision because it obviously takes up most because with a lot of the VR games, you still feel like the world is closed in around you at the sides.
Right. Okay.
Which makes those sort of like underwater games or games where you've got a helmet on actually feel a bit better because it makes sense why your vision is kind of obscured a little bit to what it is in reality.
He's just mentioned something called big screen VR?
That might be it. It looks basically like something futuristic. It was out about over a year ago, or just over a year ago.
Right, yeah. Big screen VR 2, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, people have been bigging that up. I mean, I kind of want it to become more popular because then you get more people make games for it. Because when the games aren't there, no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
But like, I still look at it in the fact that, I don't know, call me crazy and weird, but back when I used to purchase like Neo Geo games for like 200 and something quid.
You're mad.
And stuff, like, to me, I wasn't just paying for a game, I was playing for an experience because I was buying an arcade machine. Basically, that was what the equivalent was.
Yeah.
It was like buying the actual game from the arcade machine at home.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I don't have too many qualms about, say, dropping a few £100 on a headset, even if it's only to get access to a certain amount of games, because I'm buying experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
So it'd almost be like back in the day if I'd think there and be like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome to have like the Super Hang-On arcade, you know, the one that's like the motorbike.
Yeah.
Things, and you knew that would cost a lot of money if you were going to buy it for that experience. So in that way, I've always seen sort of certain gaming experiences being more expensive with a sort of barrier to entry, I guess, because of what they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I've just gone a lot more tight since I've had kids, mate, so...
Understandable, and you've tried VR and it hasn't sat right with you yet.
I hope it will do.
Improves with the... when it improves fully with the SPS, like the movement speed and everything.
Yeah.
Of obviously the reaction to what's going on with how you're turning your head and stuff in games, because that was reasonably jarring in the earlier headsets because there was less frames that could be generated while you're looking around.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, even the things like Walking Dead, where you're sort of scuttling along and then you can start climbing up the side of a building and climb in it, get your torch out, mosey on around, kill a few undead.
Yeah. Sweet.
But yeah, I sort of played the game early on, sort of thinking like, oh yeah, I'm a survivor going around, look at all these other humans, like I'll try and protect them, be a good citizen, etc. You realise they're all just tossers, like all of them. Most of them will just start on you quite a bit if you get too close. Like there's thankfully a warning that comes up that's like, if you don't move away before this fills, then we're going to attack. Kind of thing.
Cool. No, I'm glad, mate. Awesome. Yeah. Right, I'm going to talk about my brand new game I played this week that just come out and I completed it. It's only about an hour long. It does have 4 different endings though. Did one ending. I watched the other 3 on YouTube because obviously I'm not going to play again. But it was absolutely hilarious. And apparently there's a load of these games. I've never heard of it before. I believe it's PC only. It's called Poop Killer, Flush or Die. And it is a fucking nut. It's fucking stupid as the title. So basically, you remember like Candyman, and you like, you know, the whole thing of you stand in front of the mirror and you say Candyman 3 times and he appears.
Yeah.
Well, this one's about, there's a killer on the loose called the Poop Killer. And he's basically, he has a toilet for a head and he throws poops at you. And when the poop hits you, like, you explode. And the way that he comes is if you poop in a toilet and you don't flush. So the whole premise of this is you're basically living in this dingy flat and you're like, it's in the 80s, and you're basically, you sell weed. And basically one of your stoned friends turns up saying he needs a wee, but he actually, and you warn him that the flush is broken, so you say, please don't do a number 2, and you're standing outside and you just hear this plop, 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 and you're like, no, you're pooping. So it's fucking mad. It's so funny. And then basically,
looks shit, mate.
The graphics are not the best. It is an indie title. But it was just really funny because it's only an hour long, and I just saw this and I was like, I've got to check it out. And it just made me chuckle because poop jokes to me are funny. All right. I've got like the mentality of a 6-year-old. I just find it funny. All right. Yeah, so I think it's made in Unity. But yeah, it's got the Poop Killer is this dude with a toilet for a head, and then you have this wacky adventure. You spend a bit of time selling weed, and basically because your toilet won't flush, you got to clear the poop out, and then you go on this little adventure, fighting the poop guy. So it's basically, if I got a look here, you'll see like the poop flying in slow motion. So no, and it's got a really banging soundtrack, and it's just so stupid, but it's just, I just enjoyed playing it for that hour because it was just so funny. And it's kind of done in one of, you remember those kind of 80s slapstick horror films, those really shit ones? It's trying to emulate that.
These and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So, but the voice acting is really terrible on purpose. The graphics are very basic. It's just a silly game. It's like £3 on Steam. But it's just the title that just had me, Poop Killer, Flush or Die. I was just like, I've got to try this game. It just sounds stupid. I've got to check it out. So highly recommend it. Check it out. If you don't want to pay for it, you can acquire it or from certain places on the internet. I'm not going to say where. Or you can buy it on Steam for £3. And it's just a fun little game. And that's the only game I've completed this week. But yeah, I just had to talk about it. I had to play it because I want to talk about it on the podcast. It's just so funny. Like, you're walking down this city and there's like, this dude's like dead on the floor with poop coming out of his eyeballs and his mouth, like the poop had gone through his head. And then you like the killer with the toilet head chase. There's a chase scene and he's chasing you. It's just all very weird and wacky. Yeah, check it out. Poop Killer, Flush or Die. And on that note, we'll get back to Nick for more sensible conversation, I hope.
When have I ever had sensible conversation?
Oh, you know. Well, sorry, everything's got to be more sensible than Poop Killer. I mean, come on.
I mean, they've even got penises drawn on their faces as well.
Well, that's it, mate. It's just very silly slapstick humour. Yeah.
All right, well, you thought sports because I haven't really said on the podcast, but I've been playing with my mate some PSVR.
I thought you were going to say penis then.
Fucking hell, mate. No. God, this got weird.
Well, we talked about
these poop games are breaking your brain.
Oh, I know, mate. Oh, so you played your friend? I thought you had a PSVR because you
no,
sent some
mate.
pictures.
I've never played. I've never. That was around my mate's house. Yeah, I've never played any VR. Well, the only thing I had was a Samsung one that they gave free with a phone contract a few years ago, and that was you put your phone in there and you just play. I just played a few shitty games where you just sit there roller coaster and just play videos, and then you watch VR porn. You think this isn't good. This doesn't look realistic at all. And then I just thought,
are you happy for me to share the picture on the stream of you wearing the headset?
yeah, I look a right bell end. If you'd have said earlier, I'd have put a video up, but it's even worse.
Wanted to make sure you were happy first.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That's fine. Yeah, well, we both played it, but that was the PSVR for the PS4. That wasn't even PSVR 2. So that's why I've got the little Move.
Oh, you've got the dildo controllers there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've got some of those Move controllers which I used on PS3 to play a Resident Evil game years ago, like a light gun game.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I thought, oh, I like this. But I only played a couple of games. The first one, which was Resi 7 in VR.
Yes.
And obviously I've played Resi 7 loads of times. So I didn't really... He was like, oh, I'll get you to play Resi 7 and then you'll jump scare. I was like, well, I doubt it because I know where the jump scares are. So I just played that pretty quickly, took a few shortcuts to get to the scary part, and that was okay. It's just really hard. It was really hard to control. But that was with the headset and a controller. You weren't using the Move controllers. And so it was weird because you know how normally when you control a game, you use the left stick to move, and the right stick to do that. Well, it wouldn't do that. You used the left stick to move, but you had to like move your head to move.
Right.
And you could, and it was just like, it was very weird. You could use the right stick, but instead of moving how you would think, it sort of flicked the camera, like as if it was like, like an 8-way D-pad.
Yeah.
So it just went like flick, 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 and it was just a bit jarring. And I just thought, I mean, maybe you'd get used to it. But I just think once you get into some of these fights later on in the game where you're getting ambushed by lots of enemies at once, I think it would be like a real pain in the arse.
Yeah.
Like to do that. Yeah, so that was the jump scare where she jumped up and screamed at me and I was just like, nope, because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And, and I don't know if I'd play the whole... And I was looking at getting a second-hand one of them off, whatever, eBay or Facebook, but then I fell down the rabbit hole of like looking at newer ones,
the
new PSVR. But then it's so difficult because, like I said, the PSVR 2 is not backwards compatible with anything on the PS4 VR.
Yeah,
I think some games have got updates, not many. So I've been looking at possibly a Meta Quest 3, which is what the Oculus was.
Yeah, I think that might be what Frosty's got, actually. The Meta Quest something, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a Meta Quest 3, and then you've got a 3S, which is the crapper one with, which is basically the Quest 2 that they've just re-skinned, if you see what I mean, to give you a cheaper option. But I've just done the thing where, the Meta Quest is wireless, but then I don't think it's as powerful as a PS5, but then the PSVR, you need to have a PS5 to go with it, and you need to have the cable in at all times.
Right.
But the Quest 3, you can hook it up to Steam and use the Steam VR games. So
yeah, that's what Frosty's got, the Quest 3. He's just put in the chat. He's tried to type it like 4 times. I think he's drunk.
Yeah, I think he's pissed. He's struggling.
Yeah. Well, he does like his wine, so...
Well, that's fair enough. It's a Sunday night. Why not have a few bottles of wine? But I was sort of down the rabbit hole of which one to get, and I spoke to my other mate. He's like, "Oh, I got this one, which was like $2,500." I'm like, "No, I'm not paying that."
Jesus,
because I expect I'll get bored of it pretty quickly. But I'm leaning towards the Quest 3 because, like I said, you can play completely wirelessly from the headset, and you can hook up to Steam wireless, which will help because the next game I played, which I was like, I'm loving this, was I don't know if you've played it, Webby, Beat Saber.
Yes, I played Beat Saber, yeah.
Yeah, and I was playing that and I was like, oh, this seems quite fun. And I was like, I like it. But then then my mate, he bought some songs. He bought the Linkin Park soundtrack.
Okay.
And it was playing all those songs. And I was just like, oh, I'm really getting this now. And it was like, I know that people know, this game is probably really old. But obviously you have like two lightsabers in your hands. You haven't really, you've got little dildos, but same thing. And you just have to like swipe up and the blocks are coming towards you.
Yeah.
And but you do it to the music. And like I said, I've never even played like anything like Guitar Hero or anything like that before.
Yeah.
So I've never really, the most like music thing I've ever done is like the old Parappa the Rapper games and things like that. So I've never really done that. And playing some of like those music games, it was just awesome. Like some of the bits where you hit the blocks, I thought, oh, that's up, down, left, right blocks, whatever. And then the bit later on, once you get the different things, you have to do different things. So you have to actually like hit the block, but you hold it up and follow like a stream of light, and then you bring it down with the music, and like the controller was vibrating and everything more. And I was like, oh, this is awesome, because you know I like music and I like games, and it's just like molded them both together.
Yeah.
And I don't think like I'd do what you've put up, because I have watched. There's some women on Twitch that do Beat Saber, and basically how they do. I mean, you found the only bloke that does Beat Saber on green screen, Webby. How dare you? But a lot of them are the women, and they get all like the skimpy clothes, like the little mini skirts and stuff
sounds
like that.
Good.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm thinking of doing that on stream if I want to, go up in the world.
Do it, mate. You'll get some money on that doing it on OnlyFans.
Mate, I don't know what would be more terrifying, doing it, or if I actually did do it and then started making money. That would just be really bad. Like someone dared me once when they did the old, remember the old hot tub? Hot tub streams that they started doing. And I was like, well, I got a big bathtub. I could do that. And I was like, nah, I couldn't do that. I suppose no one would watch. And the people who do watch me, which is not that many, would probably stop watching. I remember I played, what's that game, that weird Japanese one with the, was it Galgun? I was playing that, where you have to like run around and like shoot panties at people and stuff like that, Galgun, and you have to shoot them to give them orgasms. God, I lost quite a few followers playing that.
That sounds very Japanese.
Yeah, I lost a few followers. One guy was like, Nick, I've followed you for 3 years, but this has really gone too far. I'm like, why are you messaging me to telling me I've played one game you didn't like, and now you've wrote me an essay on why you're unfollowing me? And I just, like, after his, 15 messages, I just put, cool.
Well, at least you didn't lose a Patreon for talking about Postman.
But yeah, I just enjoyed that, because that's what I'm thinking. I could play Beat Saber like this with just the headset, and that'd be wireless.
Yeah.
And then do that. So I'm looking at getting one of those for my birthday this year to treat myself. Nice. Hopefully it won't be like a lot of these other things where you think, oh, it's really good, and then you play it for like 2 months and then you just leave it in the box and never touch it again.
Yeah, it's always a worry, isn't it? But you don't know until you try, you know.
Yeah, but the Beat Saber, plus like with Beat Saber, if you play it through Steam, you can get like better graphics and download loads of mods and just like pirate all the music. Which, I mean, I'd buy some of the music, but some of my music is an acquired taste and it's not available on there. So if it's not available, like I'd buy Linkin Park and Queen and stuff like that, but some of the other like metal stuff that I like, it's not on there. Well, if I can't buy it, I'm not stealing, am I?
No, fair enough.
Yeah,
cool.
So that's me done.
Amazing. Brooksy, anything else, mate?
Because I haven't got a PlayStation anymore, I'm replaying Last of Us 1, and I've just started Silent Hill 2 again. Other than that, no, it's just mainly those and Call of Duty.
Fair dues, mate. Fair dues. Excellent. What about you, Darren? Anything else?
Yeah, just like First Descendant, a bit of Final Fantasy 14.
Are you forgetting something?
Oh, and sorry, quite a bit of another game, Space Marine 2.
Yeah, which we've been playing together as friends, and Frosty's been joining us as well. Yeah, so me, you, and Frosty have been playing. It was just me and you last night because I'm guessing Frosty was out on the drink as usual. I've been really enjoying this. We've only been doing the campaign together, though, haven't we? We haven't finished that for me yet. But once we have finished the campaign, we will get to the operations. But so far, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm liking the way that we're playing it together because it's 3-player co-op, so all 3 of the people are being used in the game for the most part when Frosty joins us. And it's given me those vibes of playing Gears of War on the Xbox 360, because they always had really good co-op campaigns as well. And obviously loved the original Space Marine on 360 as well. Peebs, if you're listening, mate, I do think this is a game that you would really enjoy as well. Campaign's really, really fun. And as I say, because it's done in missions, kind of chapters, if that makes sense. And some of the missions can take about an hour. It's kind of like playing it like a TV show, like doing a mission or 2, calling it a night, coming back a day or 2 later, doing another mission or 2. And it's nice because I'm kind of soaking it in and not just banging through it, if that makes sense. And Darren's obviously been very handy with his skills of looking in every nook and cranny of the level and finding all the collectibles as well, which has been quite nice.
A couple on some of the levels we've gone through, but remembering where some of them are.
But no, I'm glad I finally got around to picking up. It did take a Steam sale for me to finally pull the trigger because my main worry is, I've mentioned this before, where I've bought many a game for multiplayer / co-op reasons and got into that position where I've bought the game and I've had no one to actually play the game with, and it's just really annoyed me. But I've been quite lucky with you and Frosty that obviously you've bought the game at launch and you've already completed it, but you've been happy to run through the campaign again with me, which has been really nice. And just really enjoyable. Like, I can see why this was on people's Game of the Year lists last year because it is such a fun game. Like, the campaign itself, like the actual story is really cool. Like, they do a really good job with telling you some of the story in the actual gameplay itself, but also in the cutscenes. It's all kind of a mixture. And I'm kind of following it along, but there is some references to the first game, and it's been so fucking long, I've kind of forgotten that. But the one thing that does really stand out to me with this is, well, there's 2 things that really stand out to me with this game. One is the graphics. They are absolutely insanely good. Like, the attention to detail is just crazy with the attention to detail when you're looking up close at the armor the guys are wearing. It's just so neat. There's no pixelization or anything. It just looks stunning. Even like one of the characters has got like writing written down is the back of his armor. You can actually just read it all. The lighting, the reflections of the armor, the glint of the sun coming off is just spot on. And even the levels, like the attention to detail that they've put into all the levels in the game is crazy. Like, it feels like you're there. Like, there's so much stuff in there, if that makes sense. But also, like in Destiny, where they had really good kind of backgrounds and stuff going on, then, which you can't get to. They do a very good job of that, of making the areas look very busy with enemies and that attention to detail of everything looking really solid in the background. Yeah, like we went on a level yesterday and there was like, we're in this war and there's like in the distance you see like these hundreds of enemies flying around and on the ground and the other Space Marines or soldiers like fighting off in the distance. It's fucking nuts. Like, the attention to detail on this game is stunning. It really, really is. I'm absolutely loving it. I wish I picked it up at launch, to be honest, because it is a fantastic experience and I would like to get the campaign done at some point and get on to the other stuff. It is currently on sale on Steam, 35 quid. It's dropped on CD keys as well now, and I wish I'd put it on there. It's £28 on Steam. I'm not sure if it's on sale on consoles at the minute, but if it's not, I'm sure it won't be long till it is. but no, I'm absolutely loving it because there's enough variation in the levels. Like you'll get to bits where there's bosses and there'll be like a horde type mode area, and you get certain levels where you get like a jetpack, so it varies up the gameplay slightly, and you can pick up obviously different weapons for your melee and your kind of guns and things, and they all work different. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a fantastic game, and I can see why like Darren and Frosty and other people in the community have been banging on about it since it came out last year. But I definitely would say though that it's one of those games that is best experienced in co-op, because I did acquire it last year and played the first 2 levels solo, and I was just a bit like, oh, I just want to play it with people. It just adds to the experience, so that's why I've bit the bullet and purchased it, as Peeps would say, and that's brought that experience up a massive notch, because just playing with friends on any game is a lot better, but it's just that you're having a chat and you're talking about the game, and you know, you're not relying on the AI. It's just a lot more fun. So yeah, it's a fantastic game, Space Marine 2. So I think if I'd bought it last year, it would have been in my Game of the Year list somewhere, to be honest. I would have knocked something off, I think, because it is just such a fun experience. Like, as I say, it's old school. It's old school in the fact of it's very much a modern looking Xbox 360 game, and I say that with all the positivity in the world, because that can only, in my mind, be a good thing. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add, Darren, on that?
We've banged on about Space Hulk. It's a really good game.
Yep.
Space Marine, sorry.
We knew what you meant, mate. It's all good.
Yeah.
Cool. And the only other game that I briefly mentioned is I'm still plodding on with Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Fantastic game. On chapter 3 now. Finally made it to chapter 3 after 26 hours of gameplay. I've pretty much mopped up every single side mission in the... Well, I've still got some left to do, but I've pretty much I've done every proper big side mission in the main city of Hawaii now. There's these side things to capture criminals, which are like bounties, which I'm ploughing through at the minute. But I've done in the actual sailing areas, there's a lot. I've been to every single island. I've got every single bit of treasure. I've done all the pirate ship battle bosses. I've been just hammering this game, like, for the just side stuff, because it's just fun. It's just fun all over. Just exploring the high seas, going to the islands. It's kind of like a mini, like, dungeon areas or fight areas. Like, so you get like a dungeon you have to go through on the islands, or there'll be like, you know, what's that game that you like, Darren, where is it Dynasty Warriors? It gets a bit like Dynasty Warriors, where it comes up with a number on the bottom of the screen, 100 enemies, defeat the 100 enemies, and they'll all just be coming in at you, and you're like with your gang, and you've got to beat them all up. It's just a lot of fun, this game. I'm just really enjoying my time with it, not rushing it at all. So I'm only on chapter 3, and I've spent most of my time doing the side stuff because it's absolutely hilarious fun. And it's nice to see that Stuntmaster has picked this up and is enjoying it as well. So I've got someone else to bounce off in our little WhatsApp group about it. But no, it's a fantastic game. So I just wanted to briefly mention it. I'll probably talk about it more properly when I've finished it. Not sure when that will be. I'm going to try to finish it before Atomfall comes out. I think that's out Friday, isn't it? So we'll see if we'll see if that happens. But yeah, I just wanted to big up the game again because it is a fantastic experience, especially for Yakuza fans like myself and Nick, and maybe you, Darren. I don't know if I think you'd like it too. Yeah, fantastic game, and that's all the games that I've played, apart from Portal 2, which I'm still playing with Marcus, and we're enjoying it. That's it. Yeah, Cool. Cool to the beans. Well, let's get into some news because there's been a little bit of news this
There
week.
was actually a game I forgot to talk about.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
It's only because I've only played it for about 45 minutes or so. Bleach Rebirth of Souls.
Bleach. Rebirth of Souls. What is this? This came out this week, didn't it? Fine. Is it a fine game?
Yeah, it's just Bleach and then Rebirth of Souls. It's based on a anime manga franchise.
Oh, nice.
That came back recently with the war arc thing that's going on. It's basically a classic, I suppose, arena fighter, but it does control slightly differently, and it seems kind of basic, but it's nowhere near as horrendous as the Jujutsu Kaisen cash-in, like Cursed Clash or whatever the bloody hell that was. We didn't even have like menu screens properly or anything. But the production on this is well done. It doesn't unfortunately have number one in any of the music I've heard so far, which is kind of like one of the classic themes from the anime. The finishes and everything are all like really flashy because it's basically a fighting game, but you have like a counter for like your souls or lives, and you put enemies into a state where you can then smash those lives down, and depending on the type of finisher, depends on how many lives their gauge goes down by.
Okay.
So there's like a health bar, and then there's another sort of like lives bar, and you can do like decent execution moves that can like take 3 or 4 off, depending if you're in a transformed state, etc. But it does seem to be just kind of have like your normal attacks, your sort of special attacks and heavy attacks. And then you can like do a couple of special moves, but they're not actually seemingly like doing dragon punches or fireballs or hurricane kicks or anything like that. They just like push a direction in this button and it does a move. There are things where you can hold the triggers down and X and do sort of like dashes in where you sort of come in behind the person.
It's very anime. I'm just watching a video now.
Sort of, yeah. Like I say, I'll need more time with it. The storyline bit so far is actually reasonably well done. There's a lot of characters in it from the TV show and the comics.
Cool. Yeah.
And you actually fight enemies that aren't main characters that you control as well, which is nice, because I was wondering how they were going to do that, or whether it was just going to be like, oh, you just fight these moments from the anime.
So this is really a game for fans of the anime series.
It's good that it's well made, because the last good one I think was the one on the PS3, which was like very Musu-esque. I can't remember what that one's called. I've got it in the cupboard somewhere.
Okay.
But apart from that, it's generally been like free-to-play mobile games and random stuff. It was kind of a franchise that got big around the time that animes and mangas were getting games made, but it always missed out.
Right, okay.
So it's nice that it's got a game that's decent, the presentation's good. The only downside I will say to it is the fact that when you're fighting outside of the cutscenes of you doing moves, etc., it looks kind of blurry-ish. Like, I'm guessing that's the aesthetic they went for, which ideally in the anime they kind of went with that for the first season or so of it. When certain things happened, it looked all sort of spiritual and there was kind of a weirdness to it. So it's just a shame that there isn't a way of just making the whole game like as sharp as the cutscenes sort of finish moves and things like that.
No, fair enough. Cool. Glad you're enjoying it, mate. Is this a game you're going to be buying then, or?
Oh, I bought it. Yeah.
Oh, well, if we said the demo, if we said play the demo.
No, it's not a demo.
Oh.
No, that was Karma the Dark World.
Oh,
I played the demo of.
Cool. Very cool indeed. I know you like your fighters, so I don't know how you get the time to play them all, but there we go.
Yeah, there's another one coming out next month.
Oh, Jesus.
The Fatal Fury or Mark of the Wolves thing.
Nice.
I'll give that a bash.
Very cool, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, news. Yeah. On to news, yeah.
Yeah, let's get into some news, because there's been a few bits of news this week that I want to talk about. So, I want to briefly mention, well, not briefly, we'll have a little discussion about this. Assassin's Creed Shadows launched this past week. Got some quite high review scores from the standard fare of IGN and Eurogamer and the like. It's now apparently sold 2 million copies. But what was quite interesting about this is I did see that the game got about a 20-minute discussion in Japan's parliament on its release, which I found quite fascinating. So I did actually watch the whole video because I just found it quite interesting. Because obviously we've had Western studios make games based on kind of Japanese history before, like Ghost of Tsushima just springs to my mind as a fantastic game. Absolutely loved it. Probably one of the PS4's best games ever, in my opinion. This game has caused a little bit of controversy in Japan, though. Not for the reasons you would think, but because they've said, they stood up and said in the discussion points in Parliament that they think the game is an insult to Japanese culture. And what they mean by that is I don't really know a lot about Japan. I'm not going to say I'm an expert. But in Japan, they've got shrines, and they're kind of religious places, a bit like churches are for us, mosques are for Muslims, etc., right? And what they were saying is...
They can even be for just like burial and things like that, places of remembrance.
Yeah, but what they were... So what they were saying is there's actually like shrines that are real, in Japan now, which were used in the game, and one, they didn't ask, Ubisoft didn't ask permission for these shrines to be used, but two is you can pretty much completely destroy everything in the shrines and the shrines themselves.
They've patched that out now, Webby.
Have they patched that out now because of this discussion?
Yeah,
okay.
There's still some other stuff, but they've patched the being able to break them out. They've still got the other stuff, but obviously... Yeah.
So what they were saying is that because obviously like the Japanese culture is very different to the Western culture. Respect is a huge thing out there, and they have very different cultures and social norms that we don't have. Like an example that I know of is like in England, if you go around someone's house and you don't eat all your food, like people can be offended. But in Japan, it's the opposite. If you eat all the food on your plate, they will find that offensive because it's kind of saying that you didn't give me enough food, so you always got to make sure you leave some food on the plate. Like little things like that, right? So obviously they find it very
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, well, it's true, 100% true, mate. So they take that sort of stuff very seriously. And obviously the other stuff has been talked about just in general with the main characters. Obviously it's set in like feudal Japan, not sure on the year, Darren, is it like the 1600s or something? There's a non-binary transgender character in it, which is a romance. There's multiple different gay romances in it. And that's obviously offended a lot of people in Japan and just in general because they're like, hang on a minute, that's, that didn't exist that long ago. Go on.
Yeah, or you can sleep with someone who was married to someone else at the time who still has descendants in Japan to this day.
Yeah, which is a massive insult as well. So Ubisoft haven't shown themselves in the best light here.
Yeah, when I was in Japan, I went to her husband's residence in Kyoto.
Oh, wow. 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 Mr. Jelly's just said, has anyone watched the footage of the end fight? It has hilarious music. No, I haven't, but I will check it out after the show. I don't want to give spoilers for those people that do actually want to play it.
There's going to be loads of people that play it and enjoy it. I've heard
of course.
It was one of them ones that it did look good, and
graphically, it looks
what graphically sort of thing. And I think Digital Foundry had a little bit of a whoop over it, sort of thing, saying. And I've always thought that even previously I was generally like quite stricken with like some of the views that you could have in like Odyssey and Origins and Valhalla, etc.
Yeah.
Just moments where you're like, that's a fucking screenshot, like the way the light hits and everything.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean,
we was having that in Space Marine the other night.
Yeah.
We just like, that's a screenshot.
Yeah,
that could be a screenshot.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So obviously, knowing what Ubisoft are like, though, I mean, it sold 2 million copies. We would think, wow, that's quite a lot of games sold, right? But you have to remember that previously games that have sold like 4 or 5 plus million for Ubisoft have been considered failures by Ubisoft themselves, because they spend an awful lot of money to create these games, and this game in particular has been in development for many years. They've spent a lot of money on it, and the game sales, I mean, from what I've been reading, take it with a pinch of salt, it's not doing well enough for Ubisoft investors to be happy. So, I mean, there's already rumours about Ubisoft might be going bankrupt this year, or they might have to sell off, and those rumours are really spiralling even more since the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, because I don't think the Star Wars game did very well either. So
I think that didn't do particularly well, but that had a lot of bugs and stuff with it.
Yeah.
As well, that people didn't like.
Yeah.
Which puts other people off, like when you see, I wonder what this is like. I mean, that's another thing. There must have been a lot of people that were kind of interested in the game and then thought, I'll watch someone play it. Yeah. And then when they watched someone play it, the game had bugs and they were like, no, I won't bother.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame.
Does happen.
We've talked about this a lot with Ubisoft. They've gone, they used to be kind of the benchmark. They used to bring out banger after banger after banger, and I used to be a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise myself, but
they need to stop. To be honest, like a lot of these corporations are in like a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Due to the fact that they have, like I've said before, investors.
Yep.
That expect huge returns pretty quickly, and obviously things like that. Yeah. So a lot of these things we've said before, like EA, Ubisoft is another one. Like, look at all the franchises and the different things they used to have.
Yeah.
And look at what they have now. They have like maybe a couple of franchises about, and if those start misfiring, you're in the shit.
Yeah.
Because you're basically almost like knocking those franchises off as well, and muddying them a little bit for any future versions coming out.
Yeah.
So it's happened to EA, obviously, as well, before.
Yeah. 100%, mate. It's just a shame because Assassin's Creed series, for me, I used to absolutely love, and I didn't buy the last one either. I'm not going to buy this one. I'm kind of... I mean, it's not just... I don't know, I'm just kind of a bit bored of the whole setup of it, to be honest, anyway. But, I don't know where Ubisoft is going. They used to make so many great games, man, and they've just kind of... They're not utilising that talent how I think they should as a customer. Look at the Ghost Recon franchise. I mean, that's completely changed. I haven't made a Splinter Cell for a long time. There's multiple other franchises which I think they need to sort out. The only game I will say is decent that they've released in the last few years that I do own on Xbox was the Crew Motorfest. That's only because I like driving games.
Seems to have done pretty well for them, that. And obviously they've always got like Rainbow Six still brings in a lot for them. Yeah. I think they've announced something new for that, didn't they, recently?
Well,
something else I did hear last week. I think it was last week or the week before, and it was just after I think we'd recorded.
Yep.
But it was something to do with like PlayStation having a meeting with, was it AMD or someone like that, one of the sort of like electronic companies, and talking about how they're going to improve the PSSR on the PS5 Pro
Oh,
or whatever it is to make it even better. Because he's obviously talked about that they can update it.
Yeah.
But it's not coming till 2026.
Oh, okay.
Or something, so it's still a while off.
Yeah.
But it's basically sort of saying it's going to be one of those things where they can probably resell you their games for a third time, like with a super upgraded so-and-so, get it on the updated version.
Well, the PS6 will be out in 2027, will be out probably by then anyway, actually. Looking at the year, in 2024, 26 or 7, PS6. Yeah, so anyway, Assassin's Creed, obviously I've been really trying to make an effort to stay away from that kind of hatred mindset in games now and try and just look at both sides. I'm trying to get a more kind of balanced view as much as I can, but obviously I still have my opinions, which most of you know anyway, and I will also say it's not really a game for me. And I have seen some videos of some pretty bad bugs as well. There was a video I saw where you could avoid all the attacks from all the enemies just by lying down on the ground. I'm not really sure where that video is. I think I put it on the Discord. Yeah, I can't really.
The AI in Ubisoft.
It's loud. I can't mute it. How do I make this bigger? Yeah, here, like it's on really annoying phone size, but you could look at it here if you're watching on Twitch. It's the character's just literally just crawling around against different enemies and just not getting hits. It's like
it's another one of them things of like, no matter what that game has sold, Ubisoft must know that due to certain creative decisions, it wasn't going to sell as well as it fucking should have.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's it's weird because I used to big up the Assassin's Creed games, and I'm just kind of like, no, it's fucking Ubisoft, you sort it out. So I don't want to see people lose their jobs or companies go under or anything like that, but I do foresee in the near future something happening at Ubisoft, a big change. Either they get bought out or something happens, or they sell off IPs. Something's going to happen, I feel, because their share price has dropped huge.
The bonus, is it a bonus if they're acquired by Tencent?
Oh, God.
They will basically end up just sort of like slowly acquiring each of the studios that works on the different properties.
Yeah.
And then like either boosting them or fucking them off. Kind of thing, which usually seems to go down.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that if like people do start losing their jobs, it's because some prick made a stupid decision way up above their pay grades, and that's cost them.
Yeah, 100%.
You're like, cheers, mate. We was doing what we was told.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
If any of us maybe said like, "Why are you doing this?" We used to get moaned at, so we stopped.
Sacked or got put on a DEI course or something.
That's just happening all over the games thing and movies where they're thinking, oh, well, that game cost us 50 million to make and we sold 5 million copies. So if we spend 100 million, we'll sell 10. And it's just people who don't understand how that works. And they're only like in charge higher up for 3 months or a year. And they just want to make their tenure look really good. And they don't care about longevity of the company. And I just think it's kept going and going. And now the bubble is about to burst. And unfortunately, like it is in most businesses, it's all the lower down people that are getting sacked before them. They're walking around, for how bad like this game sold, and obviously you've got the EA games like Dragon Age. Yeah. All those people have been let go because the games haven't done as well as they're thought. But I bet all those people higher up have still took bonuses, haven't they?
Yeah, that's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah.
That's just... this isn't new. I mean, remember, that's probably going back 10, maybe 15 years when, I think, the Hitman game and Tomb Raider, when it was all part of Square, and they were selling like 5-6 million each, and they were complaining, saying, "Oh, we want to sell 10 million of each game."
Tomb Raider was another one, wasn't it? They made about the sales of.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying too. Because that's when Square Enix
sold 8 million.
Yeah, but I thought, well, that's really good.
Yeah,
But
they
they look at like I said, Call of Duty and FIFA sales and think, okay, that's the standard amount of games that need to be sold. I was like, no, that's not how it works.
that's like the streaming thing.
Yeah, that's the exception to the rule. That's like Webby deciding, well, if Netflix can charge £13 a month for their subscription, I'll charge that for the podcast and one thing. It's both exactly the same. I was like, well, it's not exactly the same, is it?
Oh, no, you mean
obviously 360 is better than Netflix.
Of course, but I don't know. I mean, I think what we're seeing is people are just voting with their wallets. Gaming is a hobby at the end of the day, and you want to enjoy your time with the money you've spent. And people don't want certain things shoved down their throat. Right. And you just want to play what you find's fun. Like time is a premium anyway. As you get older, you spend the money on your favorite hobby. Mine's video games. I want to play something that I want to play. And with these days of social media, YouTube videos, you get a really good idea now of what you're buying. And unfortunately for these companies, this isn't really what people want. So what's going to happen? These games aren't selling. It's been proven. Either they change what they do or they're going to go under. So they need to make a decision. And we've already seen it with Dragon Age, already on PS Plus, rumoured to be coming to Game Pass as well soon. It's already on a free trial thing on EA Play or whatever it is. That's what's going to end up happening. So, anyway, shall we move on to other bits of news?
Yes.
Oh, Daddy Ikin is here. He says hello. He says this is the Disney of video games. I'm afraid I completely agree. And he says Atomfall is actually out tomorrow for those people that paid for the early access version. I think that's a upgrade, isn't it? I'm just going to wait for Friday.
That's a bullshit tactic that
I'm just waiting.
Companies are using more and more and more these days.
Yeah, I am waiting.
You want to play a couple of days before the plebs? But isn't it on the Ultimate Game Pass, like you say?
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, it's on Ultimate Game Pass. I'll be playing that on Friday. Okay, other bits of news then is... this was quite interesting, actually. On The Verge, there was a story that there's a new UI coming for Xbox and PC Game Pass to trying to get Xbox and Windows as more of a meld. And there was a leaked image where Steam is an option on there. So now the rumours are swirling the internet that Steam is going to come to Xbox. I don't actually think that is going to happen. So, what I think...
You're going to have an issue running certain different games possibly for it, because you couldn't give everyone the full Steam library, no doubt.
So, basically... If you're a PC gamer, you know that GOG, Good Old Games, they have an app on PC. And what you can do on that app is you can link that to your Steam, Epic, EA and all that, all your different accounts. And it shows you your games and all the libraries in one central place. And you can actually launch the games from that app. I reckon this is a leaked image of the PC app. And you'll be able to do the same on the Xbox app with Steam. You'll link your accounts. You'll see your library in it, your Steam library in your Xbox app, and you'll be able to launch them and play them from there. I think that's all it's going to be, because looking at the picture, this picture here, this bottom one, that does look like the PC app that I've already got. So that, I believe, is what's going to happen. So I think the story's been taken out of context where people are saying that Steam's going to be on Xbox. I think that's false. And what I've just said about the integration on PC is actually what's going to happen. Other bits of news then. Oh yeah, I just wanted to mention this quickly. digital gaming, something that Nick and Darren and Stunting and a few other people moan about, and rightly so. This is EA now. They have delisted 6 Codemasters titles from Steam without any warning. Now, the way that this works is you won't be able to buy these games on Steam anymore, but if they're already in your library, you'll still be able to download them as you would have in the past, because you'll see them in your library as not downloaded, and you click it and you click download.
That's not too bad.
But I'm just trying to get the games. I think Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising is one of those games.
It's the second one, isn't it?
Some of the F1 games. Excuse me. I'm just trying to see. There's no fucking list on this website. I mean, what fucking... That's stupid. But anyway, 6 games. Shite. Oh, here we go. Damnation, Hospital Tycoon, Maelstrom, Rise of the Argonauts, Toy Box Turbos, and Operation Flashpoint Dragon Rising. There we go.
A couple of those games I'd never even heard of, really.
Yeah, so that's digital gaming for you. And it is a shame that these games get delisted off stores. It's just...
They also, this week, Webby, Shenmue 3 got delisted, and then about a day later, Well, yeah, because Deep Silver, who had publishing rights, they lost it or sold it to someone last year. Yeah. But they just took it off the store, and people were like, where's Shenmue gone? No. Yeah. And then it came back up a day or so later with the new publisher's sort of name, with a price rise, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, because that's always going on sale because it didn't sell very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just like they didn't acknowledge it, like to tell anyone what was going on. You know, when you've got a game like that, which is, you know, quite a big, well, I say a big community, but, you know.
That I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
It's just, you know, some people are like, well, can I still play it? What's going on? And some people were saying they couldn't even re-download it on PlayStation or Steam.
That's a bit shitty, isn't it?
So I was like, I was going to try it out on mine because I think it's installed on my PS5.
Yeah.
But I was at work, and when I got up, I think it was like the next day they'd already put it back up. But
okay,
it's just all these digital games, mate. When they get bored, they're just going to take them away from us.
This is why places like the Internet Archive.org is such a great place. It's, you know, they don't just store websites; they store games and software from all.
Missions to Mars, driverless cars, AI chatbots. Feels like we're already living in the future. Well, Robinhood is built for the future of trading. Robinhood's intuitive design makes trading seamless. Spot opportunities and take control of your trades with tools like screeners, simulated returns, and Strategy Builder. On Robinhood, traders have access to hundreds of popular stocks and ETFs, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, so you can keep up with today's fast-paced markets. You can now even trade stocks and crypto all in one place with the new desktop platform, Robinhood Legend. The future of trading is fast, powerful, and precise. Experience it now on Robinhood. Investing is risky. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer. Trading during extended hours involves additional risks. Cryptocurrency services are offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC, NMLS ID 1702840. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services.
All sorts of platforms. Fantastic place. They do fantastic work to preserve gaming, well, just digital history in general. You know, like, because Xbox Live Arcade, obviously the Xbox 360 store's gone down, Nick. You can, if you have an emulator, Xbox 360 emulator, you can download any of those Xbox Live Arcade titles from the archive.org website and play it on an emulator, which I think is fantastic.
Well, I think people like Microsoft should be involved and just put everything online. Just say, there you go.
I know.
But they don't, because they want you to sell the new stuff. It's just like, it's just a weird thing with this. It's like, imagine if, like, you know, you got a museum or an art gallery and they're like, okay, we've finished showcasing this for a year with this. We're going to move some new people in. What about all the old art? Oh, just chuck it in the bin.
I know, mate.
You wouldn't get that anywhere else, would you?
And that's why I think that preservation is definitely a thing to teach, you know, because like I talked last week on the podcast about going to that computer museum in Cambridge, and it didn't just have computers, it had arcade machines, had all the old retro consoles, had even old phones that we had growing up and stuff like that. So it made me feel old, but it was really good to talk to my kids about all of this, because I think it is, people should know where we've come from in regards to, I mean, in history in general, I think, people should know anyway, otherwise we're doomed to repeat it, that old saying. But I think in technology, again, it's good to see where we've come from, I just think it's very important. So, and I feel that with digital libraries, that's going to become harder and harder to do. So,
I think it's just, like I say, they don't want to. And who was the guy, I know it's not just him, but the one who was in charge of Sony, who was talking about Gran Turismo, and they done an event and they had all the old, like, PS1, 2 consoles out, and people were just flocking to those and playing those, and no one was playing the new things. Like, why would anyone want to play with the old when we got the new one out? And I think a lot of people said they also don't want people to know just how much content old games have. Like I said, when talk about fighting games, what do you mean, like, all the characters are just in the game and you can unlock them by playing?
I know.
Surely you've got to buy them from another shop, a digital store, to buy the new characters. And I just think they, like I'm saying, the people that were... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The people who were born into that, and like I said, I've had a few, like, people at work, like, mid-20s, and they're like, well, they need to do that, because how else are they going to make money?
It's a horrible
making a good game.
Well, yeah, I know, but if that's how they're brought up, and, like, in the generation before them, they don't know any better than that. Yeah. They're just going to expect it, aren't they? That's the norm to them.
Yeah, I know. It's
crazy. I think that's why games are struggling, because, not being funny, Webby, you look at, when we really got into it in, 90s, mid-90s, when you had the PS1, 64, all those awesome games doing really well, and you look at the big popular games now, you've got FIFA, Call of Duty, and then you've got, like, Fortnite and things like that. Yeah. And you think, if we had only those 2 or 3 games for 5-10 years, do you think you'd still be a gamer now if you had the type of games that are out now? Do you see what I mean? It's just, it's not longevity, is it? It's just make the most amount of money now, irrelevant of whether the game's good. And that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of videos you see online, they're talking about, the video game crash is coming back.
Yeah.
And they're saying that it's happening, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's just.
I don't think so. I think China's going to take over the video game market.
What I'm saying is it'll crash over here, and then we'll just get. I just think the amount of games coming out and the amount of they're all just going to go away, and then new people will come up and just do it properly.
I just want to read a comment from Frosty in the Twitch chat. He says these games will always be available somewhere, but delisting them from current stores isn't a new issue. It's how things have always been, digital or physical. I know what you're trying to get at, PlayStation, when we were all physical, things would rotate out of stock in stores and stuff like that, right? I get that, but you could always find a copy somewhere. But,
like eBay and stuff like that.
But if you're delisting it from a digital store, it's like, well, where do you get that from now? It's not, it's like having an iPhone and you use your iPhone apps or whatever, and they've taken away some apps. Well, you can't get them anywhere else, right? So if you want them properly without fucking around with going on the internet and getting them on the dodgy, then it's kind of a shitty thing, really, I think. So
it's just what these companies do. I mean, you said about iPhone when they took away Google Maps and tried to force their own crap onto them. And if enough people vote with their wallets, vote, with their opinion, and then they will eventually cave in when they think they're going to lose money over it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to some other news. I do notice that the time is ticking on. So, interesting bit of news about PlayStation controllers coming out. This is just a rumor. Sony have patented solar-powered controllers that charge when exposed to light. Interesting indeed. Bit like a calculator. Sony's published a new patent discussing solar-powered technology for PlayStation controllers with storage. These controllers can charge when exposed to light and retain the extra electricity in the battery. Sony might introduce a new line of PS controllers that can charge using solar power. I don't. They use a lot of battery, these PlayStation controllers, though, with all the haptics. I could see it as kind of an extra to help charge your batteries in a more eco way if it's just sitting there for a while. But I think if you're a heavy user like Mr. Peebs, then I don't think that would do very well. But I think it's interesting, and I would like to see that technology bear fruit in a decent way for sure.
My ultimate technology for controllers is they are just powered by the thing that it's connected to.
With your hands.
Yeah, or even that, yeah, just powered by your hands when you pick it up.
Or are you talking about just a wired controller? Are you still old school and you want a wired controller?
No, I'm on about like being it like no wire, but it's powered by the actual system itself.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So yeah,
Sony,
you can find a way of doing that.
So Sony patent a lot of crap and then never comes out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
do you remember
100%.
what was it? The Microsoft thing where you could use Kinect or something to project an entire environment into your room or whatever it was.
Yeah, I just think they hold on to the ideas. So if the technology does advance, years later, they've got Bagsies, or claim to it. It's just like,
give us a bit of that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they'd rather put like a super solar panel that will give you 1% of battery extra in 400 hours a month or something, rather than up the battery capacity at a cost to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was quite a cool bit of news that I come across today. Another game that did release this week is on the Switch was Xenoblade Chronicles X. Originally released on the Wii U? Was it the Wii or the Wii U? I can't...
I think that's a new Xenoblade game.
No, it's a remaster.
It's a Wii U.
Wii U. It was a remastered remake of Wii U. I'm going to say Wii U then, yeah. Fantastic game on the Wii U. And I think it sold very well. The Xenoblade series is very popular. Anyway, the thing that I was getting into on the news, though, is people have done some tinkering with the game files, as what happens, and have discovered a hidden 60 FPS mode, which people believe is going to be an upgrade for the Switch 2. So the Switch 2 will give the game, obviously, more grunt, and it will run in 60 FPS, and it will run at 1080p. Yeah, so games execute as hidden 60 FPS mode. Yeah, so in handheld at the minute, it ranges from 504p to 720p. Woohoo! And when docked, 760p to 1080p. And then, it'll be a 60 FPS mode on the Switch 2, which is pretty cool, I guess.
It'd be nice if they enhanced all the old... Or I don't think they'll be able to do all old Switch games, but people that want to, patch and update them themselves, if they work, I suppose that's what that'll be.
Yeah. Or the dream of the game just runs better when it's plugged into a more powerful system.
Well, yeah, but they've been doing that on PlayStation and Xbox for years, haven't they? When they bring out a new console, they bring a patch that makes it better. I mean, didn't the PS2, I don't know if it did much, but it did that for all PS1 games, didn't it? You could put it on so it runs a bit smoother.
Yeah, there was options on there, wasn't there, when you put the PS1 disc in?
But that was that was every game. You didn't have to download a patch. I don't think it'll be that, but it'd be nice because there's some decent Switch games, and especially for early adopters, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that
definitely. Right. My last bit of news is Silent Hill F. I think it's coming later this year, Darren. I know you posted the trailer a week or two ago. There's no firm release date, but it's believed to be coming out late this year.
Yeah, that's what I'd have guessed. People just don't want to put release dates these days in case they miss them. And is GTA still coming out? So people are going to want to avoid that release date.
Oh, yeah, of course. But Anyway, Australia being Australia, we all know and love, has banned it. And I was quite surprised at this.
This is the first time they've done it in a while. I mean, they're not adverse to banning games. I mean, like Left 4 Dead was a game famously banned in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, it says it's been refused classification, which means it's banned in the country. But there's no specific the word. There's no reason. I was going to say specific. I can't say it. There's no reasoning given as to why they've made this decision. On the official Australian government website, it says, for further information regarding the reason of this decision, please contact us. So, obviously, some outlets I've noticed on social media have reached out to the classification people in Australia for comment, and they have so far not responded. But that's quite interesting news because, as you say, like I haven't known a game be banned in Australia for a year, and it's usually for heavy violence, isn't it? I believe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is obviously going to have quite a fair bit of brutality and stuff in it. Yeah. Japanese horror is very much known for its visceral, fucked up.
I still think it's going to come out, though. This is some sort of administrative cock-up at Konami or whoever, or in Australia. The game's not even done yet, is it? It's just a This is basically they've told them, we're going to make this game. Can we put... Because obviously they have to send the game in to be clarified and double-check and, say the game's got what it's got in and it hasn't got this. Normally a month or two... once the game's gone gold before it comes out. For this far out, which I don't think this game's coming out this year, it'll probably be next year. Because if the game isn't finished, how can they ban it? I just think it's an administration thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I mean, it's just interesting.
Can you remember, Webby, when they banned it over here for 6 months and then they changed a load of stuff and called it Canis Canem Edit instead?
Right, yeah.
That was like, I think they'd actually started, like they'd finished the game and was about to release it, and then they did that.
Yeah.
So this doesn't have that. Yeah, this I would be more worried if the game was out in a month if it got refused.
Well, I mean, I'd be more worried if it got given like a 12 or a 15 rating. I mean, at least we know it's going to be fucked up and a really good horror game, don't we? If they've already saying that they're going to ban it in a country, so it's made me look forward to it a lot more. So it's given it some good press at the minute. Actually, this story.
Well, yeah, if you go on to what was that game that did get banned, but then they eventually come out and I've got to get this game because it was so bad they banned it. And
Manhunt.
The game was shit. Yeah, I think it was Manhunt, and
it was shit. It was shite. Yeah. Frotty's asked a question in Discord about this. He says, with regards to the digital library story, why would a company carry on using server space for a game that probably hasn't had a single download in the past 5 years? These games are all available in physical form, so if you really wanted it, you can still buy it on eBay, etc. But no point holding server space for no reason. They would have checked the data. I have a response for this. Not all games do have physical copies, as we all know. A lot of games are digital only. And these games, I mean, server space, Xbox Live at the end was running off just one Xbox, right? And if a game is, say, 50 gig, in the grand scheme of service racks in fucking data centers, that's a minuscule amount of data, really. So you can just... I don't think that is really a good excuse, in my opinion. Use that server space, keep it up, make more money, and leave it. So,
I see what you mean. I do understand what you mean, but I'm just saying, if they don't want it anymore, give it away to someone who does want to distribute it.
Well, put it on
that archive or just give it away. Yeah, just give it to them. Say, here you go. You can have it. You can have the rights. You can distribute it however you want. We're happy. to let it go. But they don't, because then they think, well, what if that stops sales of something new?
Well, but Frosty's saying the games in the story have physical copies, but not on PC, because PC is digital, has been digital only for a very fucking long time. I mean, obviously on the 360 you could go out and buy those games, 100%. But, you know, I haven't had a PC with a fucking disk drive for over 10 years at least, probably longer. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I ain't got a disk drive on my new one, which makes me sad.
But as I say, we are lucky. We do have some good preservation programs on the internet anyway. So, but it's still a little bit frustrating, to be honest. But yeah, that's all the news I got. As I say, that Silent Hill story I just found quite interesting, because Australia were known in the past for banning quite a lot of games. There was always stories of games being banned there, and that's kind of eased up in recent years. So for this to be not get a classification so it's effectively banned is quite, as I say, it's hyped up the game. It's given it quite a lot of more news, and made people a bit more interested.
It might have even just been drummed up just to get more attention.
It could have been, mate. 100%. I do agree. But I think that's all my news. Any other news from you guys?
I got one bit, which I don't think you've said it, as Acclaim's coming back. Have you heard of that yet?
No. Really?
Yeah, Acclaim, which went bankrupt in 2004. It's been bought back and re-registered as a publisher with a bunch of investors, and one of the main ones is the wrestler Jeff Jarrett.
No.
From the whole so they've redone it, and at the moment they're trying to buy back some of their old, because they were a publisher. They didn't have many, people making actual games. They were just funding to put them into disc and sell them. So yeah, they've sort of. I mean, some of the games that they had Alien Trilogy, a lot of the older Turok games, Virtua Tennis, Crazy Taxi, some of the Dave Mirra BMX. Like I say, loads of wrestling games, and they did the Burnout games up until Burnout 2, and I think 3 is when EA took over. I won't say EA or Activision took over. But yeah, they're back and got some funding, and they're going to try, and considering they've got a wrestler involved, I assume they're going to try and get back a lot of the wrestling games IPs.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they've bought them, but yeah, they did some good games. We talk about
2,
we talk about people like Ubisoft and that possibly going bankrupt, and people, they're too big to. I mean, Acclaim were massive back then, weren't they?
I remember playing a lot of Acclaim games back in the day.
A lot of those games were awesome, like Virtua Tennis, Legends of Wrestling games. They sold a lot of games as well. It's just, I suppose, whatever mismanaged.
Shadow Man 2. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, that'll come back off and we'll see some more games. Maybe they'll buy Ubisoft and they'll use their IPs to make really good games.
Yeah, man. Crazy Taxi, even published Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, like I said, they didn't make it, but they published it.
Yeah.
Well, they could just be out for skin suits. Do you remember this?
Wow. That's crazy. 2025 revival. On 4th of March was announced a group of executives purchased the Acclaim trademark and will relaunch Acclaim Entertainment as an indie publisher. It's led by Russell Binder, Mark Kaplan, and wrestler Jeff Jarrett, while Graffiti Games CEO Alex Joseph was appointed as Acclaim's new CEO. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Cool story.
I mean, Atari will come back again soon.
Oh, God. No.
Didn't they launch a weird Atari
Yeah, they brought that kind of wooden one. Yeah, it was kind of like running on Android or something.
Box?
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? The VCS.
It was an Android box. Everyone could plug it into their telly and play Flappy Bird and Angry Bird.
Yes, they're still selling it. Actually, I'm just on their website now. Yeah,
How
VCS is
$200.
Oh, US only. Sorry, Webby.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. I wonder if you can buy it in England. Let me have a
More
look.
than likely. It's going to be on Amazon.
On eBay for 20 quid because it's shit.
Currently unavailable on Amazon.
Mm.
Maybe it was like sold out. I'm pretty sure there was advertisements for it and stuff.
It came out a few years back, didn't it? Yeah.
What was the name of that weird console that never actually came out?
I don't know, there's been a lot.
Yeah, it was kind of crowdfunded and bigged up for ages. It was Tommy Tallarico or whatever his name is was involved in it.
I mean, the Ouya, they didn't want that to come out, and it did.
Oh, I remember the Ouya, yeah.
Fuck, that was shit.
That might be what you're on about, Darren.
No, it's
the
not.
Ouya, no?
No, it wasn't the Ouya.
Oh, mate. Whatever happened
It was
to
like
that?
an Android boxy thing. It was supposed to be more family gaming orientated because
Oh, okay.
I can kind of understand it because the guy was saying like he's a gamer and he basically wants games that his kids can play. And
Yeah.
we've said this loads of times, like even you guys, like, oh, I can't play this when my kids are around.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the coolest games or the games that are out are generally sort of like 18 games. I remember thinking back then when the 360 was out, I was like, thank fuck I'm this age.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd be pissed not being able to get like Bioshock, Grand Theft Auto, etc., and Gears of War.
Yeah.
God of War, etc.
But the whole crowdfunding thing and like Kickstarter and all that—that's very dodgy. Just lately, because there's a lot of scams on there now compared to what they used to be. I mean, I know you were never guaranteed anything because anything could go wrong. I mean, I remember I bought or funded. I didn't buy. I got it eventually. A Shenmue documentary that was supposed to come out in 2015.
Right.
And it eventually came out like 8 years later. It just went through hell. I think because Shenmue 3 got announced, they tried to do something and then they got shafted, like production making the discs during COVID.
Yeah.
Like the company went bust but kept all their money.
Oh, fucking
So it's like it's not their fault, but that is their fault. But there's a lot of stuff on there. You just got to, like, I flicked through there the other day on the night shift. I wonder what's on there. It's just lots of absolute crap.
Yeah.
But so
I mean, I remember kickstarting Shenmue 3 on there, and it was donkey's years until that came out. And
that was four and a half. You know, it's 20.
Well, at least we got it. But at least we got it.
Yeah, but
and Sea of Stars as well.
You say 4 years, mate. 2014 to 2015. It still came out before Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah. Well,
for 4 months. And think of them, that wasn't crowdfunded.
Yeah.
And you know, some of these games are taking 5-10 years to make.
Yeah.
You know, so. But then obviously you don't pay for them up front, do you?
No. So. Cool. Is that all our news? I think that is. I think we're done. Nearly 2.5 hours. I think that's a banging time to call it a day, guys. Fantastic. Did you know? I think this has been one of the most popular streams we've had for the podcast as well. Got 15 people. I'm pretty amazed. So big thank you to everyone who's listening live on Twitch. It's been really good actually this week, having a lot of chat in the Twitch channel, lots of questions. Mr. Jelly's talking about a Tommy Tallarico. Is that a person or a thing? I don't know. Amico Vision?
Sounds like a porn star.
Maybe. I don't know. But no, a big thank you to everyone who's been talking in the Twitch chat, giving us some discussions. Frosty, you've given us some good discussions as well, mate. So yeah, big shout out Brooksy, Daddy Ikin, Frosty, Glossy Gloom, Jim Tactical, Mr. Jelly, Mr. Peebs, Nick Fight, Softer Pace, Peloxide, Psytrance Visuals. Those are all the people I can see in the little chat thingy. So yeah, big thank you everybody. It's been fantastic. I hope to see you all again 7:30 p.m. next Sunday. Keep the conversations alive. Brooksy, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been really nice to hear about your PC conversion.
Yeah, that's good. I have seen one weird issue that made me laugh the other day. I think it's because I've assigned my Steam account, but whenever I'm playing a game on Steam, it shows up that I'm playing that game through Xbox.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
i.e.,
yeah.
So my online status for Xbox will say that I'm playing Last of Us 1 when it's not even available on Xbox. But
Yeah.
That made me laugh a little bit.
It is very, very cool. So I've just noticed one of the people in the chat, Jim Tactical, just said that that we used to work together. So that's pretty funny. So very nice to see you in there, mate. Thank you very much. But yeah, no, the Xbox integration on the PC, Brooksy, is pretty cool because it does the Xbox friends list does pick up the PC games you're playing and show it on the friends list. Like it shows like Final Fantasy 14, Counter Strike. It doesn't show everything, but it does most titles. So yeah. So
yeah, it just made me laugh how playing. It shows how you're playing a game that's not available on Xbox. You know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, guys, we're going to call it a day here. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. It's been awesome. Again, big thank you to the Twitch people. And if you don't listen live on Twitch, if you don't catch a podcast in the usual way, you can always join the Patreon, patreon.com/360gamercast. If not, it's all cool. Twitch is awesome. Standard feed is awesome. As long as you can join in, that makes my day. And if you can join the Discord, that would be even better. The link is in the show notes every single week. Just click on that and you will pop in and join the crazy banter that is the 360G Discord. Not for the faint-hearted, I will warn you now. So from all of us here, it's been awesome. Thank you so much. We will see you next week. Goodbye.